The most what the duck moment with your siblings. My sister used to sleepwalk into my room and just stare at me with a soulless murder glare. It was scary. I was winning a watermelon eating contest. My sister, realizing she could never beat me, picked up her half watermelon and bashed me in the back of the head with it, knocking me out cold. This one time I was asleep and my little bro walked in and just got into bed with me. I was like, bro, what are you doing? This isn't your bed. To which he responds, I think I know what I'm doing, and fell asleep instantly. I said duck it and went to sleep in his bed. Edit, he was snoring obnoxiously loud. When I was younger, I was playing outside when I heard my little brother giggling like a maniac around the other side of the house in the backyard. I went to see what was going on, and he was gleefully peeing into my dog's open mouth as the dog was lapping it up, while dangerously close to his doodle. Edit as a bonus story. I'll tell you about the time my brother almost caught me smoking when I was in high school. There is a barn across from a small pond by my house. And one winter my friend Murph and I were sparking up in the upper floor. We hear the dogs get let outside and someone mumbling. And we peek out the window so that we can keep tabs on whoever was outside now. My little brother is walking towards the frozen pond with a pickaxe and then begins to break apart the ice. After has chopped it up a bit, he crouches down like a goddamn monkey, takes a chunk of pond ice, and begins eating it while looking back and forth to make sure nothing sneaked up on him while he ate. It was like watching the goddamn Nature Channel. Edit 2. Okay, let's talk about my stepbrother for a second, since this got so popular. Hopefully people are still reading this, cause this dude is a gold mine of dumb shit. Not as much WTF material, more just how dumb is this dude kinda stuff. Not many are stories I can make into something of length, so I'll just do snippets. He brought a blank Uzi over to my house and asked me if he could fire it out the room of my window. I told him no. It's going to sound like you're firing a ducking gun. He did it anyway and then was shocked that it sounded so loud. To cover his tracks, he went downstairs to see if my family heard it. He came back up later saying I told them we were popping balloons. With a smug smile on his face, he once offered me $100 to blow up a weather balloon in my room until it popped. I declined. In the dead of winter, he propped a ladder up against my roof and then army crawled up the icy shingles with 2 butter knives as climbing tools, and then began pounding on my window to let him in cause it was cold outside. He bought one of those hoverboards, lid to smoke bombs, and rode it while spinning in circles as I filmed him, until he started coughing so bad he couldn't keep going. He regularly buys designer clothes, like polo shirts and Nike shoes and the like. These clothes usually looking stupid as hell, like the white polo he bought with a giant tree with a sun behind it, often giving them to me after a week cause nah, man I don't want these. What was I thinking? One time he asked me to drive him to Plato's Closet to sell off 2 duffel bags full of stuff like this. I'll never forget his gangster swagger walk back to my car and him proudly announcing, man I got $20. He once was trying to convince me to help him put a trampoline on the roof so he could use it to jump off said roof into the pond nearby. Took a lot of convincing to explain that he wouldn't make a jump that far. Afterwards he wanted to have the trampoline on the ground instead. Then I had to explain how in the best case scenario, he simply misses and hurts himself, but more likely he'd go right through it and break his legs. The roof is on the 2nd story of the house on that side of the yard. WTF. I've shared this before, but it seems applicable here, if a bit more tame than many stories here. One time I walked past the bathroom to get to my room. My brother had left the door open and was standing on the toilet seat, waiting for me to pass. As he sees me, he exclaims, "This is how a man takes a dump," makes a loud HNGGGGG noise, and drops a thick log right in front of my eyes. My brother tried to kill me. He was 13. I was 9. He was always a bully and picked on me relentlessly, but this day he threw me on the ground and started choking me with both hands. Not in a way like you see on TV when someone just squeezes your neck, but the correct way, where you jam both thumbs into someone's trachea. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't gasp. Just felt cold and my vision started to go to tunnel vision. Then black. When I came to, my mom had hit him over the head with a broom. I don't remember much after that, but I'll never trust him. My brother, directly after the funeral, stole our uncle's war medals from his bedroom. His wife found out, told me and my mother, and then my mother made me sneak them back in. I had just finished riding my bike home from a friend's place to see my mom pull into the driveway. Out of the other side of the car, my sister's head popped out. She'd been off to college and I didn't expect to see her. My first thought, which I openly said because I was a little shit, was why she's home. She get knocked up in college, apostrophe. Out steps my very pregnant sister. It was a rare double what the duck moment, as I was surprised to see her that ducking pregnant. And both my sister and mom were shocked at my accurate joke guess, an inappropriate guess, to be fair. I was out on a car ride with my dad, and we arrived back at the house at like 3 AM. My front door opened straight into my kitchen, and I throw open the door expecting an empty kitchen, only to see my brother buck-ass naked standing in front of the sink. I screamed, "Why the fuck are you naked?" Exclamation mark. He scrambled back to the shower. Apparently he was mid-shower. His back hurt, so he went to the kitchen to start heating water for a hot water bottle for his back, and just stopped to have a snack or something while waiting for the water to boil, all while leaving the shower running. My dad still laughs about it. Edit. Clarification. Edit 2. Yes. 3 AM. My family keeps odd hours, especially back when we were at school and it was summer break. My half siblings are 8 and 9 years younger than me. On one Sunday morning I woke up to laughter and wee sounds coming from downstairs. I went to investigate and found that they had emptied a carton of milk, through which they were now sliding around on the floor, naked. Sister logged into my RuneScape account and finished the Dragon Slayer quest that 10-year-old me with limited playtime had spent months to gear up for. I was devastated. I was sitting in front of the television one day when my sister walked behind me. She threw a little bouncy ball at me, but it bounced off my head, hit the television, bounced back off my head, and back at her. She was so surprised that it was such a perfect shot that she decided to try again to repeat it. I was so happy that my sister was playing with me that I sat there as she threw this ball at my head trying to repeat the shot for like a half hour. Once I was taking a piss and my brother barges and starts pissing and yells 2 players, apostrophe. Not my sibling, but closest thing I had to a brother growing up. My best friend, while out hiking with Boy Scouts when we were prob only 10 or so. We stopped to take a piss break and I went to this nice tree and started pissing. My friend comes up to the same tree and starts pissing, but tries to run around the tree and piss on me while I'm already pissing. So I start running around the tree. Here we are in the middle of the woods running around a tree while pissing. My foot gets caught on a log and I fell down. My friend then pissed directly on me while laughing hysterically. I was pissed and had to use the rest of my canteen to rinse myself off. A couple other kids lent me some water to rinse off as well. The only person who didn't give me any water was my best friend who pissed on me. Fuck you, Patrick. Congrats on your baby though, asshole. My family decided to spend Christmas in Mexico at an all-inclusive resort after I had moved across the country for work. My siblings and I were sharing a room. One night my brother gets in late from drinking. I wake up and see him standing over my luggage. I say, "What the duck are you doing?" He says, "Taking a ducking piss." He was. I was furious. He never did really apologize. My sister cut my hangy down thingy that connects my upper lip with my gums with a pair of scissors while I was asleep. The internet tells me this is called the frenulum. We were naughty best of friends growing up. Watching TV with my older sister. She gets up, walks over to the house phone, and picks it up. "Hello," she said. "Yes, he is." One moment. She covers the microphone. "It's for you. Benthic. Apostrophe. Crazy. I didn't hear it ring." I think to myself. I walk to the phone. My sister begins savagely beating me with the corded phone. For no reason. She concocted a ruse just to beat me with the phone. When I was 16, I went with my family to visit my grandfather at the old folks home. Well, I ended up striking a conversation with another guy there who had an Irish accent. After a few minutes, My then 7-year-old brother asks this guy, "Why are you talking Mexican?" He just laughed. But I was so embarrassed that I didn't know how to react. When I was about 4, my parents told my brother, aged 13, to take my sister and I for a walk for an hour. I think my parents wanted some private time. He took us for a walk, alright. We were gone for 12 hours. My parents were frantic and the police were looking for us. God knows what he was thinking, but he's always been a bit of an idiot. My sister discovered her inner thinking voice when she was like 4. Close bracket. She came downstairs into the kitchen totally distraught and said, "Who is talking to me all whole time? Everywhere I go somebody talks to me about the things I do, but I can't see anybody." Came downstairs from being asleep. Living room is in disarray. Blood drops are on the floor and I see little flecks here and there on the wall. I say to my G/F, "What the duck happened? Concerned someone got injured or something?" "Your brothers had a scissor fight," she tells me. "A scissor fight?" "Yes. Those two ducking brain surgeons took up craft scissors and went at each other in my living room while my, no doubt horrified, G/F watched on in shock and awe. They were gone by the time I woke up, thank Christ. But the evidence was hard to miss. I was this close to beating M. Bison in Street Fighter 2 and my big brother pulled the plug because he wanted me out of the room to smoke weed with his buddies. The time I came home from school and found a horse in the garden, which my brother had bought from nearby gypsy campsite. Told my sister to come inside for dinner. She was hitting balls down our driveway with a field hockey stick. She immediately turned and swung full force into my face, breaking my nose and deviating my septum. That was 20 years ago and she won't talk to me because I've wronged her in the past. Bitch, I can't breathe out my right nostril. My brother and I used to share a room when we were kids. One day I woke up and saw my brother standing in the middle of the room trying to mount a toy gun on his dick. Probably when I was 9 and my older brother was 13. We were home watching TV one day during the summer. He was flipping through channels and stopped on an episode of Donna Who that featured a male stripper right in the middle of his routine with an audience of middle-aged women cheering. He put the remote down and excitedly said, "We're watching this." He's now married with 2 kids and is aspiring to be a Baptist minister. I tell this story anytime I get a chance to embarrass my brother. I was about 9, making him about 6. Thanksgiving dinner at our grandparents' house. We were both in the kitchen together, just the 2 of us, each with a slice of pumpkin pie. My little brother grabs a salt shaker from the table, slowly unscrews the cap, dumps the entire shaker of salt on his pie, and eats the whole thing, making eye contact with me the whole time. He had this look, like he knew what he was doing, so I didn't question it. 20 minutes later, he's chasing a cousin through the hall. He dead stops, says, "Uh-oh," and projectile vomits all over the walls and floor. He is descended upon by adults asking him what the matter is. His response? "Too much salt." I was the only one who knew what he meant. Edit. Wow. My first gold. Thank you, sir or madam. I will share it with my brother, who will pour an entire shaker of salt on it. It was pretty awkward when he knocked on my bedroom door to give me condoms when my boyfriend was over, but also very nice of him to be worried about me like that. The what the fuck moment comes from his girlfriend later that day sharing with me, "I know you probably don't want to know this, but your brother's dick is huge." I super did not want to know that. Fuck you, Shannon. When I was young, about 13, my family was leaving my grandparents' house after a weekend visit. It was a long drive home, about 4 hours. I had to pee really bad and my parents hated stopping. So I discreetly grabbed my empty Mountain Dew bottle and emptied my bladder into it. It wasn't hard to hide, being in the backseat of an SUV. Well, I put it under the seat after I was finished, and when I got home I totally forgot about it. My parents cleaned out the car later, and my thought was they threw it away. Nope. They placed it in the fridge thinking it was a half-full bottle of pop. Well, I only figured this out because my sister took a drink out of it and screamed. She said it must have been old and been in there forever because it tasted horrible. I was horrified, but I took it from her, fake smelled it, and threw it away saying, "Yeah, that's disgusting." I have never told her or anyone for that matter what really happened. My little sister looked at me dead-eyed once and told me you had demons in you. You need to get them out or something along those lines. I asked her WTF she was talking about and she just kinda went back to doing her thing. The girl was like 8, so I don't think she was trying to troll me. Please subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.